Welcome to a new year. I love this time of year because I find that it is such a great beginning with a fresh slate, right? At the beginning of each year, we have the opportunity as leaders and business owners to sort of hit the reset button and to have completion on whatever has happened in the previous year and start to look at like, all right, what do I want to create in this new year? It's like a new possibility and a new beginning that's in front of us. And one of the things that I have done at the beginning of each year with clients over the years is I do this thing where we have this completion exercise that we do to bring completion to the previous year. Because one of the things that I notice, and I maybe you found this to be true for you, but I know for me, sometimes I like drag into the next year, like more like what are all the things that I could have and should have done differently, or disappointments or regrets, and unfortunately that tends to be the place where we focus sometimes. And so I like to begin before we start to look at like, all right, what do we want to create for the next year? Let's bring completion and closure to the prior year. And so there's a couple of things that I do in order to accomplish that. And I'm just going to share those with you today because maybe that would be a good exercise for you too. I know that for me this month, I do this with all of my clients where we sort of do this two-part exercise. The first part of it is where we look up and go, okay, what do you want to be complete with and let go of in the prior year? Like I said, I think that a lot of times we tend to focus on the, what did we do wrong? What did we not accomplish? What did we say that we wanted to do that we didn't get done? Mistakes, all that, right? And so one of the things that I think is really useful to do is for us to just acknowledge that there's really not anything that we can do about whatever's happened in the past. It's in the past. And the best thing that we can do is really take the learning from that and look at it instead like, all right, that didn't work. I tried it. I screwed up. I made a mistake. I didn't finish that, whatever it is. And to look at it more like, all right, what do I want it? What's the learning I want to take from it? And what is something I might want to do differently next time, right? How can I maybe take that learning and improve in this next year? But part of the beauty of letting go of whatever happened in the previous year is a way of being able to really truly start from a fresh slate, right? So this is the thing that we do. I say to people, like, just take out a piece of paper and write out anything that you have regrets, disappointments, that you feel like you didn't do well, that you screwed up on maybe, or things that you're just like you're finished with. You don't want to have that be part of your life anymore. And just free flow all of your thoughts down on a piece of paper. And it doesn't have to be full sentences. It just can be words, whatever it is that you want to put down there that you're ready to leave behind and you're ready to leave in the previous year. And I do this every year, and I write down all these words, like whatever it is, like it can be good things that happen that I'm complete with and that I know that I'm just not going to do anymore. Or it could be things that, like I said, maybe behaviors or habits I want to leave behind. It could be failures or mistakes or incompletions. Whatever it is, just write it all down on a piece of paper. And then when you're done, I actually burn it in a metal bowl in my kitchen sink. That's kind of my ritual for doing it. If I'm sitting there with a client in my office, that's not usually a viable option. So I tell them to crunch it up and throw it into the trash or tear it up, whatever it is that works for you. But really with the intent of just let it go, like be complete with it for the year, because it is done and there's nothing that we can do to change it again other than look at what's the gifts, what's the learning, what's the blessings that we can take from it as we move forward. And then here's the second piece of what we do to bring completion to the prior year, which is celebrating the wins. Now, we have a tendency to focus on the things that we didn't do well or that we should have done differently, or all those shoulda, coulda, wouldas, right? But do we stop very much and acknowledge what we've done well, our successes, our accomplishments? And I will say that I don't think that we're always so good at that. And so the next piece of the exercise that I do with clients, and I do for myself every year, is I sit down and write down, what are all the things that I got accomplished? What are all the things that went well? And it could be like it was a booming year for contractors and for construction this last year. It could be my highest year of sales ever. Could be highest amount of earnings ever. It could be the best cash reserves ever. It could be, the biggest project we ever did. It could be a hire. It could be, you learned to master some new skill or some new technical ability, or implemented a new system or process. Like just outflow, whatever it is. And it doesn't have to be business either. It could be personal. Like, it might be that you had a child. It might be you had a child who graduated. It might be that you got married. For me, I know it was that I learned to make bread well this year, and it's been a goal for mine for 2 years, and I finally figured it out and feel like I accomplished that. Like that was a win for me. So whatever it is for you, what I just want you to do though is I invite you to spend some time really put it down on a piece of paper. I also recommend that you do that. There's something very powerful when we write words down or type it. I'm a typer. I'm not necessarily a writer. So, however you want to do that. But write it down and then just spend a minute and acknowledge it and look at it. And if there's somebody in your business or your life, personal, whatever, that you want to share it with, I encourage you to do that. One of the things that I loved when I do this exercise with clients, and I always go, okay, what part of this do you want to go back and share with your team as wins for the year, so that you can all collectively bring completion to the year in a way that you can acknowledge, hey, what did we do well before we start to reset a new set of goals and rethink about what this year is. Let's just stop and pause for a minute and acknowledge what we've done well. And I hear from people that it's a very powerful experience to do with their team, and so I just love that exercise. So, hopefully you've gotten some ideas maybe for yourself about how you want to begin this next year by letting yourself have completion for the year before, and let go of whatever it is that you want to let go of, and acknowledge and appreciate the ground that you've taken and the success that you've had this past year before you begin planning in this new year. So I hope you find this helpful, and I look forward to seeing you next time on The Profit Builder. My passion in life is helping contractors build more sustainably successful businesses, increase their profitability, reclaim their time, and find more joy in what they do again. So if you found this video helpful, would you just share it with a friend? Thanks. I look forward to seeing you next time on The Profit Builder.